Morning, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Nielsen. Hope everybody is doing well. Today, we're going to continue talking about water, the unit that we started last week. I hope you had some fun learning some things about water. Last time I was together with you, we talked about how water is found on Earth, and it could be either fresh water or salt water, and that most of the water that we find on Earth is salt water found in the oceans, but we don't drink that water, remember? So the fresh water is the one that we could drink and that's safe for us. Today we're going to learn a little bit more about water and some other words to go along with water. We're going to talk about how water is a form of matter. Matter is anything that takes shape and it has some weight. We are matter. Your toys are matter. Animals are matter. Everything that exists is a type of matter. And today, let's look at our screen here, and we're going to see how water can change the form it takes. So first, we have here that water is called a liquid. A liquid is like the river or lake or the water that comes out of our faucets. It flows freely. If we make the water get really cold and change the temperature of it, when it's frozen, it will become something very hard called a solid. So its shape changes. Water can also be heated up. And when you heat it up and it gets very warm, it'll start to evaporate. You remember when they did the water cycle with you, one of the teachers? It'll start to evaporate and from some steam will form when it gets very hot, and it will boil up. And that steam that goes into the air is called a gas or a vapor. Very good. First, we're going to read a little story. And in that story, we're going to learn some more words. And we're also going to see how water has these three different forms. Are you ready to read that story? Okay, let's look up at the screen. And I'm going to pull it on up. Here we go. Water Changes. That's the book's title. Very good. It's by Bobby Kalman. That's do you remember what we call the person who writes the book, the words in the book? That's right, the author. Very good. And these are some of the words that we are going to learn. We're going to learn about clouds, how it freezes and becomes a solid, liquid, mist, ocean, rain, snow, vapor, and the water cycle. Yeah, I know you heard some of these words already before, but they're all important to keep learning over and again. Very good. If you look at Earth, remember we did this, you look at Earth, you will see that most of it is blue. Why is most of the Earth blue? Do you remember? Because that's the oceans, right? The blue part are water. Most of the water on Earth is in the oceans. Do you remember if that was salt water or fresh water? The oceans. That's right, it was salt water. Very good. The oceans are, let me just move my little screen out of the way here so I could see the words. The oceans are areas of water. And there's very big oceans all around the world. There's the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean right here. You see that? And there's some other oceans around the world too. This page, ready? The water on Earth changes. It changes when it gets warmer. It changes when it gets colder. Water can be in three states of matter, three forms of matter. It could be a liquid, a solid, or a vapor. This is the water vapor, and you see this, the mist coming off of the mountains high up in the air, going up into the clouds and making the clouds. That's water vapor. Liquid water is the water you drink. You can swim in it and wash with it. This girl is swimming in liquid water. Very good. When water gets very cold, it freezes into ice or snow. Ice is solid water. It is cold and very hard. Like the ice we eat, the ice you might go ice skating on. Snow is solid water too, but it's not as hard as ice. You can make a snowman with it. It's like a soft solid. That's why you could roll it and pat it and make a snowman with it. But it's still considered a solid. It's not a liquid. When water is heated by the sun, it becomes water vapor. Water vapor is all around you, even if you cannot see it. I think we spoke about that a little bit during the week. The water is in the air, and even though we don't see it, it rises up The sun is drying it, some of it from the top of the oceans and from puddles on the floor. It rises up into the air, and that water vapor or gas becomes the clouds. Sometimes you can see water vapor in the air. That is called mist when it's like this. So here, you see the picture here? You can see it right in the air, sort of. It's like almost foggy looking. That's called mist. The wind takes water vapor high into the sky. It is colder high in the sky. The vapor starts to cool down, and that's what forms the clouds. Water falls from the clouds as rain. When there gets to be too much water in the clouds, it will come together, and then rain will come down. Rain is what type of water? Is it liquid, solid, or gas? What do you think? Right here it says that word. Rain is liquid water. What falls from clouds in the winter that is not as liquidy? Do you know? Do you remember? That's right. It's snow. Water is always changing. It moves up to the sky. It falls back down to earth. Water moving up to the sky and back down to the earth is called a water cycle. I believe one of the other teachers did the water cycle with you during the week. Water is heated by the sun and becomes water vapor. Here's the cloud, and this is how it works. Remember? Water falls from the clouds as rain or snow. It comes down to earth. And then as that snow melts and becomes liquid water, it will start to go, it goes into the oceans and all around the grounds. And then when the sun is shining and getting warmer, some of it will melt, and then it'll come right back up into the clouds again. And then it happens over and over again. And that was called what? Do you remember? The water cycle. Water vapor moves up to the sky and forms clouds. Comes down as rain or snow, becomes liquid on the ground, and then goes back up to the sky. And that was a little information on how water changes. Now let's see if you remember. Mrs. Nielsen's going to try to make my screen a little bit bigger and see if I can show you some words, and we can sort some pictures into the categories. Are you ready? Let's see. I'm going to put this back up here, and we're going to X that on out. And then we're going to see if we could share this screen a little bit bigger. Okay, here we go. Remember, liquid, solid, and gas. Those are the three forms of water. And Mrs. Nielsen's going to try to get rid of that too, like that. And then I would like to try to make this bigger. Let's see, can we make it a little bit bigger so we could see? And that's a little bit bigger, better. Okay. Okay, now, Mrs. Nielsen has the words that we learned right here. Water can be a liquid. That's when it's flowing. Water can be a solid. When it gets very cold, it gets harder and it becomes a solid, which is like an ice. And water can be a gas. And gas means when it's like a water vapor and it goes up into the air. Very good. Now I have some pictures here, and I'm going to sort through them with you, and you're going to tell me whether you think they are gas type of water, a liquid type of water, or which one did we say? Not say, solid, right? Okay, liquid, solid, or gas. Ready? So, what is a snowman? What type of water is a snowman? A snowman is a solid type of water. The form of water for a snowman is solid. Got that? What about waterfall? What type of water do you see there? Do you see that picture? That's right. That is liquid water. Good job. What about this? A whole bunch of snow in the street, like a blizzard, left a whole bunch of snow packed down on the floors. It's not melted yet, so what is it? Is it a liquid? Is it a solid, or is it a gas? It's a solid. Very good. What is it when we see clouds like this? Oh, actually, those aren't even the clouds. I believe that's smoke coming up, going into the clouds from factories. And that's some kind of water vapor and gas. The clouds form up in the sky. That has gas water in it, right? Vapor, very good. What about steam from a train? The steam from a train. What type of water do you think is in those type of clouds? That's right. That's gas water. And then we have ice cube, solid, liquid, or gas. What do you think? That's correct. That is a solid. Good job. What about a puddle? You jump in the puddle. Is it a solid, a liquid, or a gas? I think I could hear you. If you said puddle, you're right. Good job. Puddle is, I'm sorry, if you said liquid, you're right. A puddle is a liquid form of water. And what about a snowflake? That's a snowflake. Close up, look at under a microscope. You can see all the shapes of the snowflake. Snowflakes are what? Liquid, solid, or gas? What do you think? That's correct. It's a solid. But if you hold a snowflake or just a little bit of snow in your hand, the heat from your hand does what to the snowflake? It will melt it, and then it'll become liquid. Very good. I'm going to do one more. What is this? What's coming out of here? That's an iron that Mommy might use to iron the clothes, right? And from there, you could see some steam. What did we learn about steam? What type of liquid is steam? It's water, yes, but what type? Is it a gas, a liquid, or a solid? It's the gas, and that'll go up into the air and disappear. Very good. Well, I hope you learned today about the different forms that water can take. It can be a liquid where it flows freely. Like if you drink a glass of water, it can be a solid when it freezes. It gets harder and colder. It gets the colder it gets, the harder it gets. It becomes an ice, which is a solid. And then if you heat it up, it'll become a gas, right? Because first it'll melt. If you have an ice cube and you melt it, it'll melt down into a liquid. And then if you keep heating it and it gets hotter and hotter, it will go up into the air as a vapor or a gas. Mrs. Nielsen is going to send you a little bit of work to sort some pictures into the category they belong. If the type of water is a solid, a liquid, a glass, you're going to put it into the right category. And then I'm also going to send you some YouTube videos that you can watch about this that are fun to watch. And remember, don't forget, don't say no to H2O. Why? Do you remember? That's right, because it's very important. Water helps you learn and grow. Good job, guys. I hope you had fun today, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.